All right, what's up? We today, hey Van, we are going to be looking at that Exosphere back there by Infinity Goalie. Now, if you guys remember, actually for that matter, let me wait a little bit. Figure some more people are going to come a little bit, probably in a couple minutes. Hello, everyone. Hey, Peter. Suntan Fish. That's an interesting name. We'll go with it. Hey, Cyrus. Hey, Connor. Nice to see you again. And Grayson. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, X-Man. Hey, Brody. You were waiting all day for this? That is awesome. I was waiting, a day and a half for this. Because these showed up on my porch yesterday. So you can imagine, like, how excited I've been for a day and a half to see these custom graphics. And so, as you guys saw on Instagram, you know, you can like barely see the graphic, like right here. And so that's what I've been staring at for a day and a half now. All right. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Daniel. First time watching live. That's awesome. Hey, Harris. Yeah, gaming with Gabe. We'll go with it. I'll do a shout out for you. Nash potatoes. That your screen name is hilarious. I love it. Let's see here. Ben, Mr. Goalie, Cheeks. I don't know how you say your name. Kale? Kahale? Let's see. We got Reagan, Silent, Harris, Corgi. Awesome. Well, we got 42 people watching now, so that's pretty awesome. So first of all, thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. I really appreciate all of your awesome comments. That's awesome. And yeah, you are more than welcome to ask whatever you want in the chat. Of course, anything appropriate. When will On Ice vids come? Great question. So I have that one that I still need to edit. I'm kind of upset by that video still. I showed it, what was that, in the last live chat or the one before that, where it got hit mid-game, and so I lost like half of my game footage, if not more. But then I was supposed to play last Friday, and I didn't end up playing, but I'm supposed to play this Friday. So I should be able to get some more stuff for you guys. I don't play before Friday. I had a chance to play tomorrow night. To be honest, it was a little too late for me. But whatever. I'll play Friday. All right. So, oh, Regan. Sorry, Regan. I couldn't tell. All right. So, let's go ahead and do the unboxing, since I think most of you guys are probably looking for that, and then I will try my best to go back and look at your questions. I know that there's going to be 5 billion questions going all the way back. And hey, Nick, that's awesome. From England. That's awesome. But I know there's going to be a lot of questions and whatnot. So why don't I unbox those and show you guys the sticks. Now, I've reviewed them in the past a little bit. And so let me figure out here if I can pull up the video. Let's see here. Infinity Goalie Stick. Yep. So I had reviewed, and let me see here. I can. I'll show you guys my screen here. Let me bring it up for you guys. Let me make sure there's nothing weird. I don't see anything weird going on. Okay. So, all right. So, as you guys can see here, I have actually already reviewed the Infinity Exosphere Goalie Stick, but the picture really is just the Stratosphere, if I remember correctly. And so, I've mostly talked about that. If I'm remembering correctly, honestly, I didn't go back and watch my own review before this. But considering it's had almost 4,000 views, that's pretty awesome. So I really appreciate that. Just to kind of show you guys really quick, if I said anything about it before, but You know, like it says, traditional styling and construction put together two great products. You have the mid-level foam core stick, which is the Stratosphere, and then you have the advanced level foam core stick, which is the Exosphere. And they do have a ton of color options, so that's pretty cool. And then now they have an extra ability to customize the stick, which I can show you. Let's see. Let's go here. So you can see you can get custom graphics now, which is awesome, and we're going to see those today on these custom sticks. So you can put like your logo here if you want, and this is kind of what it would look like if you wanted, you know, to keep the Infinity logo and you want to put something cool on the back, or you can do, you know, the same logo on each side, and that's what I have. So you guys will see that here in a second. The other thing too is for you guys who have been asking me for a really long time, if you can get some of my goalie sticks, well, now is your chance. So that's pretty cool. So we have here, these are the exact same sticks that you're going to see today. So they're the Exosphere sticks. They are 27.5 inches height on the paddle, or length on the paddle. I will show you guys a comparison to my other sticks, since you guys know I use the CCM, the Paso, pretty regularly. So I'll go ahead and compare those. So that way you guys, whenever you guys are ordering, you'll know exactly what you're ordering. This is called the Tommy Ames Special, so if you didn't know before, my name is Tommy Ames. Yes, with one M, that's not a mistake. So this is the graphic that you guys are about to see. So I'm really excited to see how closely the graphic matches these colors and if they match the pads. So we'll have to look at that. So I'm kind of excited. Okay, so let me switch back to my screen here really quick. Now, I really apologize. You guys are going to have to give me 1 second here. All right. Had to text somebody really quick. Sorry. All right. All right. Let's see what's going on here. I want to switch screens so I can see what you guys are looking at and I can see your chat. I'm trying to think if there's anything to tell you other than that special new wrap option with the custom graphics. Is called the I squared, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's get started. So let's see. I have my trusty knife here. Now, of course, you're gonna want to be a little careful unboxing sticks, because you don't want to, you know, injure your stick, basically, right? And so, fortunately, they've wrapped it up really nicely. Not all companies do it this way. And I don't want to cut the stick, of course. So I'm making sure I'm going out on the outside. Alright, I'm really excited. Alright, let's see if I don't put a hole in my ceiling. Alright, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing here. Sorry. And let's see here. Alright. Getting sticks out of the package is never the easiest thing in the world. Now I've got the sticker caught on the knife. There we go. Alright, let's keep going. Don't hit the stick. Don't hit the awesome graphic. I can see it already. Like I said, I've been staring at the sticks for a day and a half now. So I hope you guys really appreciate these live streams, because every time I get something new, I have to wait like a day and a half to show you guys. So I'm just staring at these boxes for a day and a half. But it's neat, so I don't mind. That, and you guys ask a lot of good questions, so. Alright, let's see if I don't cut myself here. There we go. These things are very well wrapped. I have had it before where I've gotten sticks and they've been broken when they came. So I actually really appreciate this wrapping. They've wrapped this really nicely. Alright. Let's put that down before I cut myself. Wow. These look awesome. I need that back. Alright, give me 1 second. There's a lot of extra material here at the end with some tape. I want to make sure I'm not injuring the blade. Alright. Wow, we're up to 85 people. That's crazy. Is the sound lagging a bit? You're saying the sound isn't matching up with my words. Sorry. Sometimes it does lag a little bit. Look at this. Beautiful. Let me put this down. Alright, that's awesome. Let me get the other one out too. Now I feel bad for the other one because it's not out yet. It needs its brother. Ah, more tape. Okay, never cut towards yourself or towards your own face. That's always a bad idea. You didn't see that. Alright, here we go. And let's throw that over there. Beautiful. That is awesome. And that graphic is cool. So you guys can see here. I don't really know how to describe the graphic other than the fact that I completely stole it from my mouse pad. So basically what I showed them was I really like my my mouse pad, my gaming mouse pad. And so I'm like, can you emulate that graphic but like use navy and light blue to match the pads? And so it's actually worked out really nicely. It looks beautiful. You can I'm going to see if I can get it pretty close to the camera here so you can see how well it's printed on there. It's really nice. Now I want to give you guys some information about the graphic itself and how they apply it. So let me see here. Yeah, so it's called 3M Vinyl. So 3M is the company, and it is a vinyl wrap, which is really nice. I do wonder about the durability of it, though, of course. I think that's probably everyone's biggest question. Because as it gets hit, you know, is it going to roll up or is it going to damage in any way? And it looks like it's affixed on there really nicely. And the corners are done really nicely. The graphic is printed beautifully. So I don't think it'll be that big of a concern. You can see the white on white matches really nicely. You can kind of see the line here if you get close enough, but back far enough you can't tell. So, you know, oncoming players, they can't tell what is and isn't the graphic. So it'll look really nice in pictures or video. And then you can see, nice little touch here. First of all, my name. And then the other thing I really like is they've matched the lettering with the colors that are on the paddle. So that looks really nice. That's pretty cool. And I can tell already that a lot of these graphics are the same from the last ones. So it looks like it's probably their stock graphics for the shaft. And then, you know, obviously they're just applying the i2 graphic on the paddle. So it looks really nice. And for you guys who want to see, I chose the toe option. I might have to back up here so you guys can see. But it's the toe curve because that's pretty similar to what I have already. Let's see if I can get it just perfect here. There we go. Let's see, a little too far. There we go. So the toe curve keeps it pretty flat along the blade, which is what I like in a stick. And then there's just a little bit of a toe curve just at the end. Putting it flat on the floor, it's really nice. So let me compare sizing. So this is a CCM Pro foam core, and this is a I'm pretty sure it's either 26 inch or 26 and a half by CCM sizes. And if you remember from seeing the description on Infinity Goalie's website, it says 27.5 inch. So you can see here, that is literally the exact same size. I was actually a little bit worried about it. And if I turn it here, you can see it's still the exact same size. There's a little bit difference in the paddle itself because this one's a little more sharp and this one goes down a little bit more at an angle. That's not a concern whatsoever. It'll be easy to grip. But I was a little bit concerned over the sizing because, and I think a lot of you guys were too, when a lot of you guys started commenting about 27.5 inches, like that's really tall. And it's like, well, different companies measure it different ways. So, you know, the unfortunate part is it's very hard to compare one stick to another. But the good part is that Infinity tends to measure that the same way as many other manufacturers, which is to take your ruler and measure it from here all the way down to the end here, and that should give you a pretty good sense of how large that paddle is. But like I said, CCM does do theirs differently, and I believe mine is 26 inch in CCM and it's 27.5 inch in Infinity, and you can see there it is perfectly the same. So that's pretty awesome. I'm really excited about that. One of my biggest concerns when it comes to getting new sticks in and using them is that the sizing is almost always off a little bit. So it's really nice to see that that it's perfect. Now I guess while I'm at it, why don't I show you guys like a comparison of the blade, because the CCM is also a custom blade, and I can see already that the Infinity has a little bit more curve to it than I'm going to be used to, so that'll be interesting. Now Infinity they have 4 patterns, and I don't know all of them off the top of my head. Let me see here. I know they have a toe and they have a heel and a mid. So let me see here. And earlier I couldn't get that portion of the website to work, but it's probably my computer or something. Yeah, what do their curves look like? So they have the toe. That's the one that I got. So that's very close to the PP41 or the Anderson curve, if you guys remember that one. Then they have, let's see, the mid is very close to Quick and a P31. And then the heel, which is similar to Price, but the heel also has a sloped shoulder, which is, it's probably not the exact same as my CCM, but it might be a little bit more, maybe. And then the rest of them all have the standard shoulder right here. So that's called the shoulder. And then they also have one that is the heel. And that one's more similar to Rask or the P34. I didn't really want to go with heel because heel is probably the worst one for 5-hole saves. And if you guys remember back when I talk about sticks, the first thing your stick is always trying to do is stop the puck. So shooting the puck is second. So I really care much less about the curve for shooting. I care much more about the curve for stopping the puck first and then shooting after that. So this is pretty cool. So anyway, let me compare the patterns really quick, and I'm gonna have to get out of the way so you guys can kind of see this. I'm gonna be looking on my other screen here so I can see what you guys are seeing. All right, so you can see there the Infinity is on the left and the CCM is on the right, so you can see just how flat of a blade I'm used to using, and you can tell it's pretty flat along the bottom along with that toe curve. And then you can see on the left side the Infinity has quite a bit more curve to it, so it's almost like a heel and a toe in one. And then if I show you guys this way and bring it down a little bit, you can see just how much difference there is in the lie of the stick. So you can see that the sticks that I'm typically using, these CCMs, have a higher lie. And the lie is the angle that the blade connects to the shaft. And so I'm going to put these together again so you guys can see from this side what kind of a difference there is. But still, you can see here, this blade on the Infinity is very flat along the bottom, and that's what I really like. Because I don't like a lot of curve up that a mid-curve will typically give you, because then you end up with a lot of 5-hole goals. I don't like 5-hole goals. Alright, so the other thing that I want to talk about really quick, as I've been kind of using it around and just kind of holding it and whatnot, I am really, really surprised by how light this shaft is, or this the paddle is. The shaft is your typical wood shaft, typical weight, typical balance. I will end up cutting it down a little bit to match my other sticks. But this paddle is incredibly light. Like, I am really surprised at how light it is. Especially given you can tell the extra protection on the blade. I'm going to back up here so you guys can kind of see. You can see that it has the extra strip under there. Nice carbon overlay. So typically a stick with this much protection will be maybe a little bit heavier or end heavy, and yet it really isn't. And I was kind of surprised too, not just with the lightness of the paddle, but it's a very thin paddle too. So if I can kind of show you that, I'm going to try to get it pretty close to the camera here so you guys can see. Now let's see if I can get it kind of close so you guys can see. It doesn't really give you a good reference, but it's a pretty thin paddle. So if you guys remember, sometimes I talk about thickness of the paddle, and so Warrior tends to have a lot of thickness to it. The Christian stick, if I remember, has a little bit more to it. My CCMs, my older CCMs, were really, really flat, and so there wasn't much to it. And then the newer CCMs are a little bit wider. And these, they feel great. That's how I hold my stick, for those of you who... actually, sometimes I hold it like that, and sometimes I'll hold it a little more like this, just for a little more control. But that's really nice. I'm really excited about using this in a game. And then, like I said, looking at the durability. So I wonder if I can even... I'm going to kind of cheat here for a second. Let me grab a puck. All right. I got a puck here. Top shelf championship puck. I believe that's when I got the game puck. And I'm going to try to mark it up a little bit and see what happens. All right, so you see a little bit of puck marks there. Sorry if that's loud. I'm just seeing if I can get it to break or run or anything. You can see here that it's marking up quite nicely. So for those of you who like that really marked up look, especially like if I try to mark up the regular. There we go. So I can kind of show you here on the regular paddle, that's the kind of markup. And then over on the sticker, you know, that's what it's eventually going to look like. So it's going to look pretty nice. But from what I've been doing here, and in fact it kind of went over the sticker here, but there's still no damage to the wrap. So that's really nice. So if I like really try, there's no damage at all. So that's really nice. Yeah, so I'll show you guys that really quick. Yeah, sorry headphone users. So right here, I hit it square on the wrap. There's no damage there whatsoever. So like I said, you know, I was a little concerned with you know, the durability. You know, will it end up tearing or scratching? And given that I just hit it like 20 times with a puck in different ways, and the different ways that pucks are going to hit it, I'm pretty confident. Now, it'll be a good test, you know, when this puck's coming at me, you know, going 80 miles an hour, or depending on the guy, close to 100 sometimes. So we'll see what ends up happening to the wrap. But I'm really encouraged by that. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to have to tape these things up and use them. So I'm really excited. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I see that we've had like 80 people in the chat, which I'm pretty sure is a record. So I'm going to try my best. You do not want me to tape it right now, Rod. Remember my how to tape a goalie stick video is 26 minutes long or something. So I don't think anyone wants me to tape it right now. Okay, so, and then if you really want to see me taping a stick right now, go to my channel and go to the breast cancer awareness video that I did for Total Goalie, and you can see me. You can put that on loop if you'd like, and you'll see me tape out a pink stick. Okay, so do I like my sumo bag? Yes, I love that bag. I'll tell you what, like the best part about that bag, I would probably not be able to play goalie right now if not for that bag. I know it's fun to like make fun of, people who use, roller bags and whatnot, but that sumo bag back there is fantastic. That's really saved my back. I've had back problems for a long time. And so the fact that that bag works so well, and I've had it for like 4 years now, and durability wise, I swear things on the inside keep falling out of it, and yet it still works perfectly fine. So I have no idea what's falling out of it. They're like screws and metal parts and whatever, but nonetheless, it all still works. So it's awesome. I also see here there are a ton of people asking about the eFlex 3s. Yes, I'm getting them. I believe they're supposed to be in this month. I would check my email right now, but I actually switched email servers, and so I lost all my old emails. So sorry. We're back to the drinking game. Sorry. I'll try my best. So, okay, what else we got here? Josh wants to see the Coho knee guards that we talked about. So Josh and I were talking. What was that, on Facebook or Instagram or something? And we talked about knee guards. So here's the Coho, apparently 589 Swiss Pro knee guard, and I love this knee guard. So here's some things that I was talking to Josh about. So first of all, I have the $900 version of these, and they are fantastic, but the inside padding ended up coming out. And so then I got these Cohos, and they've been great for me ever since. So the best parts about these, number one, obviously the protection that's up here. This is plastic, so it's not real carbon. They put some carbon design on the outside of it. It looks nice, but as far as I'm aware, it's plastic. And it appears to be plastic if I'm looking at it from the side. Then there's some foam underneath that's pretty comfortable. The other thing too is there is this foam landing part right here, and so when I press down on it, let's see if I can get it good. You can see that I can press down pretty easily. That is so comfortable. So if you have been using knee guards that give you a lot of pain, I would definitely recommend these. The other cool thing is when you go down on your knees, I wish I had like a really good way of showing you guys, but this knee guard basically brings you up like an inch and a half up. So you go down onto your knees, but you're on top of all this padding, on top of this plastic cup right here. It works out really well. And for a goalie who's a little bit shorter, like I'm 5'11", so I'm not, 6'4" or anything. But, when I was growing up, I had a lot of problems with like high shots and going, hitting the top of my shoulder, or still going in or going over my shoulder. But I barely have anything go over my shoulder anymore since these raise me up so high. Now, the same thing that I did show Josh, in terms of durability, the only problem I've had is this strap right here, which is the integrated strap. There's this integrated one, and then there's, let me bring it out here. There's this one right here that's adjustable. So I have really big calves, and so this just honestly was way too small for my calves, and in fact it put a lot of pressure on my calves when I used to wear it. It ended up just ripping straight off because my calves are so large. So now I just tuck it in and then putting this over is perfectly fine. I have zero problems whatsoever with sliding. They don't rotate on me. They don't slide on me. They don't come out of position. They stay there, and I don't sew them in. I don't affix them to a garter belt or anything. I just use them on with the straps. There are 3 straps here, so there's one all the way at the top. And I usually do this one pretty much as tight as I can get. This one pretty much as tight as I can get. And this one I'll do the tightest, which is probably somewhere around there. So you can see it gets pretty tight. And it's really nice. So I love these knee guards. I definitely recommend these. To be honest, these are my favorite knee guards of all time. If you want a softer knee pad, I would recommend the Passos. But for a hard knee pad, you can't go wrong with these. All right. All right, what else we got? Okay. Now I just said again, sorry. Let's see what else we got here. We have a ton of people watching right now. So, what other questions do you guys have? I can't go back on everyone's questions. Like I'm... Alright, we're going to go ahead and ban a couple people. We'll do that guy. Okay. That's good enough for now. So, 1S gear. I have the glove way up there. I still have not used it, so I can't really talk about it. What I always tell people is, like, I used it on ice for that demo for like 2 hours for Total Goalie, which was awesome. And if I could afford a set, I would get a set right now. Like, that would be like my next set. And if I got the white and navy with the baby blue coloring, it looks beautiful. So I would love to get a set, but they are just way too expensive for me. No, I am not a goalie for the NHL. I wish. I keep telling the Blues and other teams. Like I told the Avalanche too. While I was on my way to Spokane, I was at Denver, and I was like, "Hey, Avs, you need a backup goalie?" Because here's what I figure. Hear me out here. So I'm not a good goalie. I'm clearly not an NHL goalie. I'm clearly too old, and I'm clearly overweight. But I am very cheap, and I know how to fill water bottles and open doors. So I figure, and I have great pads. So there's 4 things right there that are pretty awesome. And I figure, what are the Avalanche goalies making right now? So Avalanche goalies salaries. Let's see here. Okay. So we have Semyon Varlamov at $6 million. He's hurt right now. You have Jeremy Smith at $675,000, and then Calvin Pickard at $850,000. So let's see here. NHL league minimum, which is what I would be. It would pain me, but I would go ahead and take the league minimum, I guess, is $575,000. I mean, it would be a struggle, but I guess I could make $575,000 to look sexy on the bench and fill water bottles and open doors and count shots. I'd have no problem with that. So I think they should hire me. Just saying. Okay. Who would I compare the Infinity Goalie sticks to? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Because I don't think I compared them in my review video. It reminds me... I don't know. It reminds me in a lot of ways to like a way more modern, like Sherwood, but it's way less heavy than a Sherwood. So maybe what it really reminds me of is back when I used to get custom Koho 590 sticks, and they were awesome. But pretty much every stick like has that same kind of construction, or at least most of them do. But there's little nuances here and there about like weight or balance, um, and grip and stuff like that. And so it reminds me a lot of that stick, but in a clearly modern way. So you can clearly tell that it has like modern materials and modern balance. So I'm kind of excited to play that with that on the ice. Um, yeah. So why do I see some NHL backups with clipboards and pens when the game is going on? So there's a couple things there. Usually the NHL goalies are they are counting the shots and where the shots came from and what kind of shot that is. So oftentimes it'll be, let's Ben Bishop. Let's say it's Ben Bishop on the ice. He's watching quick, and there's a shot from the point. So he'll write down slapper from the point, midway across, and it hit a body in front, and went off Quick's left leg or something. So he'll try to write down as much detail as possible. And then they can always go back and like if he has any notes about that, like, hey, you missed the guy who was over on the left side. He was completely wide open. So you may want to, be aware of that. Something like that. So sometimes there's like little nuances that they'll write down too. It's pretty cool. I would not say that Ben Bishop is the best goalie, but I will say that he is the nicest pro goalie that I've ever met. Ben and I used to teach a camp together. How long ago was that? That had to be like 10 years ago now or something like that. So that, a long time ago. He was still at Maine, and I guess I was still playing college then, about 10 years ago, maybe wrapping up my college career. He is really nice. So that's pretty cool. What age did I play goalie? So I've been playing since I was somewhere around like 13, 14. And I'm 33 now, so I've been playing goalie for like 20 years now, which makes me feel really old, so thanks. Passo chest protector, do I have the Pro Pack? Yes. Considering purchasing one, but am not sure if I really need the Pro Pack level of protection for men's league. Okay. So Vincent, if you're playing A level, and really for a lot of men, I always recommend the Pro Pack because let's be honest, like you're going to be playing stick and pucks and scrimmages, and there's always, some guy out there who's like clearly too good for the scrimmage, and he's going to come down and rip slappers all day. So would you rather get a senior chest protector because, 15 of the players out there are senior players, or would you rather the Pro Pack, which will protect you against not just the 15, adult players, but also the 2 or 3 ringers out there who are ripping slappers at your head all day? So in my opinion, go with the Pro Pack, spend the extra money. All right, I need a drink really quick. All right, that's a good question. Zachary's asking, compare the weight of the Infinity and the CCM Premier Plus. So that's a good one. Now, let's be honest here. First of all, I've cut down this stick. So the weight is already going to be less, I can tell you that. So I think I've kind of talked about the weight of this one before. I mean, this one is crazy light. And it is a composite, so that's why. So that's not really all that surprising. Let me find the balance point for you guys so you guys can see a difference in balance point. So this balance point is right about... It's right about there somewhere. A little difficult to kind of find it. And you can see it's pretty much right between there, but I'm trying to do it on my finger, so that's never easy. So anyway, you can tell the balance point is way down here. So let's kind of compare that to the Infinity. And again, I have not cut down this stick yet, so the balance point will change. So what? The CCM was approximately there. And I'm going to need to go up a little bit. So you can see it's a little closer to my hand. Maybe a little bit over. You can tell it's between those 2 points. I'm trying to do it on my fingers, so that never works. You could tell the CCM was probably like an inch or so over. All right. Okay. So can you show us your paint job on your mask and what company is your mask? So let me show you all three of them. I think I have three masks right now. Pretty sure. All right. Should we go fun to boring? We'll go fun to boring. I hope I didn't just hit a button that like turned anything off. I need more room on my desk. Okay, so first we have a stock Bauer 961 Pro mask. This is one that you commonly find in the NHL and a lot of semi-pro goalies. This is painted by Franny Drummond of Paint Zoo, and so you see his logo here on the back. Paint Zoo Studios. I think I showed this not in the last live stream, but the one before that. But you can see how much dust is on top of that. That's sad because I haven't been wearing this mask lately because I don't have the dangler on it. So I need to put the dangler back on. But I love this mask. Just such a nice pro paint job. It's beautiful. Got a custom chin sling on the inside and outsider straps that open out the back plate, so it looks really nice. You can see my last name there. Absolutely beautiful. I got this paint job to match my pads back there, the eFlex 2s. So I absolutely love these. Next one, the mask that I just got, and I'm going to call it the Kiever mask again. Some people call it the Kyver, and but when you look at the Russian, it's the backwards N, which is an E sound. So I call it the Kiever mask. I have no idea how you actually say it, but we're going to go with Kiever, considering that's what it says in Russian. So this is a custom-made Kiever mask. This is modeled after the 961, but I have triangular vent holes, and the ridges up here are a little bit deeper. And so if I kind of show you here, these are a little more shallow, and I don't have a good way of measuring this, but I can try to show you guys, but it's not as deep, whereas this is definitely deeper. So it's a little bit deeper, like what is that, the 9961? That's a little deeper, or I'm trying to remember here if it might be the enemy line, the enemy 10 might be a little bit deeper. But I have not used this in a game yet, but it is a fantastic mask. Like, I'm really excited about using this. Of course, now I have to like figure out, do I want to not match for the next game, because I only have my eFlex 2s in right now. Until my eFlex 3s come in that are red and white, then I'm not going to match when I use this mask for the first time. And then I also have this one right here, which is a Pro Mold Bobrovsky 961. So you can see I have two 961s and a Kiever that's similar to, I am not 37, by the way, I'm 33. You're going to make me look even older than I am. That's terrible. But yeah, this is the Pro Mold 961. Surprisingly, this one is way heavier than I thought it was. Or maybe that's just because I just picked up the Kiever, which is just, I mean, it is insanely light. Like, I wish I had some good way of showing you just how light this is, other than just doing that, because that's not really helpful, because I can pretty much do the same thing. Of course, it's annoying because the dangler's on it. But this one doesn't have a dangler, though. But I can tell like this one is really heavy compared to this one, so that's going to be really nice to wear out there. But I really like this one too. It has the Pro back plate. It's just a beautifully protective mask. I really like this. So those are the masks that I have right now. Let me put these back. Let me make sure that my pants aren't showing. All right. There we go. All right. Any experience with Ray masks? No, I don't, unfortunately. Any pointers you could tell me for a beginner goalie who's just starting out? So I'm 17. Is it too late to start? No, it's not too late to start, honestly. Now, I wouldn't have aspirations of becoming an NHL goalie, but you can still have a ton of fun being 17 and going out there and learning how to play. So, when it comes to uh, learning to play, and I know I've talked about this on a lot of live streams before. Live streams, not lime streams. I don't know why I said lime. But the first and foremost tip that I have is get on the ice as much as possible and just have fun with it. So if you are, uh, if it's a stick and puck or if it's a scrimmage or if you get called for a league game as a sub, just go out there and have fun. Like, let's be honest, we're beer leaguers and we're goalies. We're going to get scored on at least once a game, right? Like the vast majority of the time, you're going to get scored on. So just get on the ice, have some fun, skate, learn. The biggest thing that you're going to do when you're out there in any situation is learn how the game is played. So that's why, when I'm playing in the BHL, which is the best league that's around here in St. Louis, and yes, that's the same BHL that KVG plays in. But when you watch those videos, you can see just how fast they are. And, it's really important at that level to know what their next step is. So it's easier for me to play in an advanced league than it is against like a D League player because I know how an A League player is going to play. I know that his passes are going to be crisp. I know generally what he's going to do. I know where he's going to try to snipe me at. A D League player, you have no idea where that shot's going to come from, or if it's going to be all flippy or something. So, more often than not, it's going to be way easier as you get better to play against those better opponents. So get on the ice and just have fun with it. Any tips for a bad glove hand? If your glove hand is really that bad, I would suggest changing gloves, to be honest. So especially if you like played baseball, and you are a good baseball player, try to get a glove that's similar to a baseball glove. So like a CCM 600 series is really similar to my old pitcher's mitt. And so, but to be honest, I was not that great of a baseball player. Like for one thing, I was a pitcher. So, I had a pitcher's mitt out there, a pitcher's glove. The other thing you can do is try to use like a tennis ball or a bouncy ball or a lacrosse ball or something like that and just play catch. And don't look at the glove, which is funny because, when you're doing a lot of goalie training, you're supposed to look at it, go into the glove. But one thing you need to work on is your, and I'm going to screw up the word here. So let me find it really quick. Your proprioception. So your proprioception is your ability to know what your hand is doing and where it is, even though you're not seeing it. So I know that over here is like a can of peanuts somewhere. So there it is. So I was able to find it even though I can't see over there. But I know where my hand was. So one of the more important things to do as a goalie is to know where your gloves are, even though you're not looking at them, because you're busy looking at the puck, right? So in order to build that muscle memory, and I know this is kind of contrary to a lot of goalie coaches, but I actually teach not to look at the glove as it goes in at first. Now, eventually, you want to add that in there, and you want to track it, right? You're always wanting to track the puck. But you also need to learn muscle memory, and you need to learn where your glove is, and that tends to do it. That's how I did it, at least. So, okay. What else we got here? Oh, yep, there's Nash Potato saying exactly what I just said. That's awesome. Okay. I'm trying not to say Would I switch to Bauer? So first, that's kind of assuming that that I only have one thing in the first place. And as you guys have seen before, yeah, I tend to wear a lot of CCM, but I've also had the NXGs, the Bauer NXGs. I would totally use the 1Ss. They were fantastic pads for those 2 hours that I had them. I still have questions about the durability, but I did really like them. I would totally try Brian's too. I've had a ton of questions about the Sub-Zero 3s and Genetic 3s. I mean, just a massive amount of questions, like literally hundreds of questions from you guys over Brian's and Vaughn pads, even though I don't use them. But I would love to try other pads. I have no problem with that. Yes, Kane Van Gate plays in the BHL, and the BHL is a real league. Like, it's actually called the BHL. It's called the Brentwood Hockey League. It's here in St. Louis. It's the best league around. Mostly ex-college students, ex-high juniors, some ex-pros. Okay, what else we got here? Yeah, so Ryder, you're a player. So, and he's jealous of all the cool stuff we goalies can get and do with our gear. And I totally agree. Like, that's the reason I became a goalie. Well, there are two reasons. Number one, you got to wear the cool gear, right? Like, nobody else out there gets to do that. Like, you are a true individual out there with your awesome mask and your awesome pads. And then the other thing is, I thought it would get me girls, and so actually that kind of worked. But that's probably not a great reason for doing it nowadays. So let's see what else we got here. I can't really tell you how to butterfly slide. I wish I could. That's not really an easy thing to answer. It's like I'm not really sure what I would say there. Like, you push off on one side and go to the butterfly. I don't know. When you were in college, was playing college hockey and your studies too much to handle? No. And in fact, I mean, right now I'm in college right now. I'm getting my master's degree, and so I'm playing. I have a family. I have 3 or 4 jobs, depending on what you consider a job. So, but in college, to be honest, like, there are a lot of college students who are like, "Oh my gosh, my life is so hard, and there's so much studying stuff," and it's like, you have all this free time to do whatever you want. And, whether that's working out or playing hockey or stuff, I'm not saying college isn't difficult. But I found college way easier than high school. Because high school, you're getting homework all the time, and you're having to read like every night or every other night and stuff, and write and do assignments and quizzes and tests and stuff. And I guess college is kind of the same depending on what your degree is in. But college is way, way easier. I was a terrible high school student, completely terrible, and I'm getting a master's degree. So that just goes to show you how different college and high school is. Going into aerospace engineering, that's awesome. Yeah, that's not going to be easy. There's going to be a whole lot of math for that one. So good luck with that. Um, Leighton is asking, am I a stand-up butterfly or hybrid goalie? So I don't think those things exist anymore for the vast majority of the cases. You have somebody like, isn't it Pickard, who is kind of like a hybrid style? And maybe Allen in some ways is a little more hybrid than a lot of goalies. But almost every goalie now is a butterfly. We really have no true stand-up goalies anymore. So more than anything, I say that I'm a generally typical Quebecois butterfly style, which is more like French Canadian butterfly style. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. I know I had some other questions and I forgot. There was someone else who asked me about college, like tips for transitioning from high school to college, as far as hockey goes. And more than anything, you're going to get way better players in college, even though it's the ACHA, which is, I think, what you said. But there's some really good ACHA teams. So, but more than anything, like, in high school, you always have, like, one line who's really good, maybe another line which is like adequate, and then your next line or your next 2 lines are not great. And in college, every line is going to be pretty good, and especially the top 2 lines. So it's going to be faster, and there's going to be a whole lot more hitting typically, but a lot more controlled play in college. So that's where I feel like it's way easier to play college rather than high school. In the BHL, as far as I'm aware, no NHLers come and play during the off season, but we will have a lot of semi-pro players or overseas players. So we'll often have some that come in from their teams in like Germany or Switzerland or Austria, stuff like that, and they'll play. And then a lot of the top college players, when they come back, they'll play over the spring. So, Red Diamond, what can you do? Off ice training, hockey session or season is over for me. So I would definitely recommend watch those videos that I did about like working out and start doing some of those exercises. I'm still like 6 videos behind on my Catalyst videos. So first of all, sorry. And second of all, sorry to Catalyst. But I'm going to try to get some more up. So I'm going to give this like 5 more minutes, even though we have like 65 people watching. And I could really just keep talking. But I have to print something for a neighbor. And then we're seeing a movie tonight. We're going to go see Logan. Anybody seen Logan yet? Okay. Do you like Martin Brodeurs pads? Did you like Martin Brodeurs pads and masks? So, I mean, out of the things that I would crap about Martin Brodeur about, those are 2 things I probably wouldn't. So I used to have Martin Brodeur's pads. Remember the ones that he had back in like '96, and he had like alternating graphics on each side, which were pretty cool. But I had the black and royal and white ones, and they were pretty cool. I really liked those. His mask, it was fine. I liked his mask, his earlier mask. When he added his logo to it, it made it look completely stupid. Like, I think that was like the most egotistical thing he could have ever done, was like make up his own logo and then stick it up on his mask like that. And I thought it was an ugly logo. So that's just my opinion. What's the best looking pads? In my opinion, like stock graphics, the P3s, the Reebok P3s was the best graphic of all time, stock wise. If you ask me like all time, including custom, that would be way harder. Maybe, actually, you know what other one I really liked? So like P3s, and then also, what was that? The Brian's DX2s or whatever they were. They were pretty cool. That's going way back. So most of you guys probably don't even know what those look like. How do you get rid of a wavy palm? You can't. So basically the only way to get rid of a wavy palm is to send it in to someone and have the whole glove redone. So to be honest, just get a new glove. I wish there was a way. Patty Waz Cohos were okay, but as far as Cohos go, if you actually go back and look at, first of all, I always liked Patrick Lalim's, which were just, well, okay. So let me show you a picture here. I'll switch windows here in a second. So I always loved Patrick Lalim's Cohos. And let me switch screens here so you guys can see. Okay. So we have Patrick Lalim. I always loved these Cohos, and I don't know why. Yeah, they're white and black, but I always loved them for some reason. But his red set was awesome too. Look at this. I put up Patrick Lalim Coho. Look who shows up. Who is this guy? Who does he think he is? Oh wait, that's me. So I have no idea how that came up. That's pretty funny. Ottawa. So let's see if his, because he had, yeah, here they are. Let me see if I can find a better picture though, because these were awesome. And there's a better picture of them. I wish I could find them because they were so nice. Oh, look at those. That's not him though. All right. Well, anyway, these were probably one of my favorite 560 pads. I always loved the 560 design. I think that's one of the timeless designs. The other 560 design I really liked is Marc-Andre Fleury. I can't type today around my microphone. And let's go with Coho here, and they should pop up. Look at those beautiful pads. But we're looking for his 560s. And he played for the Screaming Eagles, Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. Here they are. So check out these pads. Look how nice that is. The white and the sport gold and the silver with some black striping. Of course, back then he used a CCM. And this is before CCM and Coho were the same company. So He used the CCM glove. And then here's his other set. I don't think that one's as nice, but the set he had before that was pretty cool. So anyway, there's been some pretty awesome Koho 560 sets that I've really liked. Okay, so looks like technically we're at time, but let me see if there's any more cool questions here that I can answer really quick, and then we'll get going. We're still at 56 people, which is pretty awesome. So one reason, so when I first started Instagram, I was like liking everyone, but then the problem was I could barely like keep up with the feed. So I really apologize for having to unfollow a lot of you guys, because I actually do care about like what's going on. But then, like, you know, you're doing like personal things in there and goalie things and whatever, and it's like, as far as like Instagram goes, it's pretty much all goalie. So I tend to do like goalie companies or manufacturers, pro goalies, stuff like that. So all right, let's see what else we got here. Bauer Total One NXG vintage setup or CCM Retro Flex? Definitely the Total One NXG's vintage setup was way better than the Retro Flex CCMs. There's no doubt about that. Cujo has always been your favorite goalie. Cujo is one of those goalies where like he was exciting to watch, but I never felt like he was particularly like great. Like he'd steal you a game and he was entertaining while doing it, but was he like a truly great goalie? I don't know. Opinions on Peter Mrazek. Mrazek is one of those goalies where like he did so awesome and then suddenly he was terrible. I think he's been coming back and doing better, but still not that great. He needs to continue developing. And yeah, Luongo's Kohos were pretty nice, especially his 590s. Okay, let's see here. Jack just ordered a set of E-Flex 3s, glove and blocker, and ordered a 590 brake. So how do you like your 590? I love my 590 brake. So that's a question I get often, like which brake do I use or which ones do I like the most? And you guys saw my comparison video between the 580, 590, and 600. 590 is my favorite because it opens up the widest, in my opinion, and it's also really good for stick handling. So that's why I really like it. And I don't really consider myself a crazy goalie, I guess. Like I'm not out there talking the posts. I will do things occasionally, like if we score a goal, then I'll go to the corner, and then if we score another goal, I'll go to a corner, and then they'll score, and I'm like, oh, clearly I shouldn't have gone to the corner, so I'll stop going to the corner. So sometimes I'll do stuff like that, but that's really as far as it goes. Like I'm not like skipping over lines like Patty Waugh did, and I'm not talking the posts like Patty Waugh did, stuff like that. So yeah, okay. So I think that's probably about it today. We've gone for about an hour, which is pretty cool. But 57 people right now, and I think at one time we were up to like 80 or like pretty close to 90. Oh, actually, we got up to 93 at one point. That's pretty awesome. So I really appreciate all you guys showing up. And I know that this is like the third live stream that I've done in like a week and a half. So I really appreciate all you guys coming. So anytime you guys have questions or comments or anything like that, make sure you're posting them on YouTube, and I respond to pretty much every comment that you guys make. So I really appreciate you guys coming and watching. So again, if you have any questions about the Infinity Goalie Exosphere stick that's back there, the what is it? The I squared graphics, the wraps, any of the gear that's back there, I'm more than willing to give you guys what you need. And of course, I'm going to be doing a lot more of these live streams too. And plus, I have a couple more sets of gear that are going to be coming in the next few weeks. So you'll definitely see another one then. And then maybe I'll do like another like mega session where I'll do like 3 hours or 3.5 hours and just kind of go through questions and go through every piece of gear that I have, because I know that you guys really like those too. So anyway, thank you all for coming today. Keep subscribing. The other thing too, really quick, since I still have 54 of you here, how many people are we up to? Subscribers, 9,290. I need 700 more subscribers, 700 or more, and then once I get to 10,000, then I get to use like YouTube Studios to do some pretty cool videos. So if you guys can all pretty please, a late Christmas present, make sure that you're subscribed to me, and then also tell all of your hockey friends and all of your goalie friends to subscribe. And that would be a huge help. We get like 300 new subscribers every month, but I need more because I need to get it to 10,000, and that way I can use YouTube Studios and do some pretty cool videos for you guys. So any help there would be awesome. And also, if you're not subscribed to us on Instagram yet, I am almost at 2,000 subscribers on Instagram, which is pretty cool, and I post there like multiple times a day. So I hope you guys are doing awesome. If you guys have games this week, good luck, and stay healthy. So good luck, everyone. I will see you all out on the ice, as always.